I have a question. How much technology should bring in our life? Does the technology help us or does it make us slaves? In other words, when I look at my fitness watch, whatever it is, if it's a Fitbit or a Hawaii or whatever it is, and it's going to tell me that I slept well, I'm going to feel good. Maybe I didn't sleep well, and it tells me I didn't sleep well, and I feel good, did sleep well, but now I'm worried because my watch told me I didn't sleep well. Or maybe if I feel good and the watch says, oh, you didn't walk your 10,000 steps today, so it's going to put me into stress because I only walked 9,100 steps today. In other words, how much technology do we need for life? And there's all types of things, heart monitors and heart rate monitors and fitness watches. And this is a question we asked. Is this important in our life or is it superfluous? Is it making us slaves?
This is such a great point, and I think honestly cyclists and triathletes are some of the worst out there because they've been so quick to accept technology to try and help them dial in. I have a podcast myself related to cycling and triathlon called the Strong Savvy Cyclist and Triathlete, and I had the top power meter coach. So it's a strain gauge that measures your efforts on the bike that revolutionized how people train. And I brought him on. He and I have had a couple conversations. I said, hey, you know what, let's have this conversation on a microphone. And essentially it was, when it comes to power training, you use the power meter to check, just to reaffirm that you are where you are. But on a good day, you go based on how you feel, not the numbers on the bike. And on a bad day, you go based on how you feel, not the numbers on the bike. But so many people get lost in that. And I find these days with Fitbit and Oura Ring and all these other things, that people are very well-meaning. We're looking to set it and forget it. It's like putting it in the microwave. Put it for 3 minutes and the popcorn will be done. That's not how technology is meant. Our bodies are incredibly complex, and even the individual who's not really sensitive, like you've mentioned in your podcast, the runner who's been working for 20 years knows every muscle on his foot and can feel. Someone who's been essentially a couch potato or someone not active doesn't feel that. Technology just helps you reaffirm what you're feeling, and it confirms or denies. But too often we look at our phone and go, oh, you're at 98, you need to sit down. You're working too hard, you need to be at 60, you're doing it wrong.
That's happened to what technology. I was doing a stress test, and I live with, thank you Hashem, I live with AFIB. You can learn with AFIB, you can live to 150 with AFIB. You just have to know how to function with yourself. And sports doctor was looking at things, oh, got to put you in the hospital. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can still function. I wasn't even breathing hard. But he was reading the monitor. You read the monitor, you have to understand what you're reading. Technology is not a replacement of the brain. Okay, Hashem gave us a brain. We have to train with the brain, train according to our brain. Okay, so what we do, we use that as an aid. Now, as an aid, I mentioned AFIB, and this is something out there with people that you have cardiac problems or whatever problems you have, sugar problems. First of all, don't exercise without consulting with your physician. Yeah. Everything, I've got a great cardiologist, and we had coordinated what we could do, what we can't do, but you could stay in great shape. You could be young. There's no, the old is only the chronological date on your car, on your driver's license, your birth certificate. That doesn't mean anything. It matters the shape, what you could do with your body. So don't let that, you can work around everything. There's no such thing. Menachem, do you have a single client that doesn't have some type of disadvantage or disability?
We each have our own balances of
we all do. I talked about my AFib and my old Army injuries here to feel
the ribs.
Yeah. the ribs, collarbone, nose. About Menachem, he's got so many cycle injuries, and he has to work around them. Okay, but the technology doesn't help us work around them. It's our brain helps us work around them. They help technology guides. Where does the technology come in? When I know that it's not healthy for me to stay at prolonged high heart rate that's over 85% of my heart rate max. Okay, so I look at that, but I know that exactly Menachem designed a program for me to be, let's see, the ideal, the sweet area between 70 and 80% of heart rate max.
It depends on what we're going for, but roughly, yeah.
Okay, roughly. And a person my age, 72, and my situation.
Well, that's the thing. So this is where technology can be great. Now, I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret that a lot of people don't want to hear, is that the Fitbit the Apple Watch, any type of technology that you have, especially for HRV, they're actually highly inaccurate, as much as 15 to 20%. So if you're basing, and I had a client, a wonderful woman, who based her fitness on her Fitbit and how many steps she did and how many calories it said she did. But when we got rid of it, it actually broke and she couldn't replace it because of import issues. And she wanted a specific one. She saw better results in those 6 weeks, and yet she was stressing herself out. But I said, hey, you look great. How's your clothes? Oh, it's looser, but I don't have my Fitbit. And this is where we need to be very careful. Technology is there to just confirm or deny. I think I moved enough today, and then I look at my tracker and I go, 8,000, that's it? Wow. And then you look, you go, oh, well, I was really active for longer than normal. It's just more information.
You're down on yourself. Right. I have 2 step counters, and the discrepancy between one step counter and another step counter, and they're both GPS, 15%. So if you want something reliable, you put that aside. And what I'm wearing now, it's not modest, I should, but I'm wearing a chest monitor, heart rate. It's one of the best in the market. It's PORE HR10. It's got the accuracy of an EKG. Okay, and this, we've got the monitor right there.
And we get live data, so when he was doing his warm-up a little bit earlier, it won't let me pull back, but he was hitting a little bit too high in his warm-up, and that's where we use the data. So I roughly know, I'm watching him, I'm like, okay, we should be about here. And I'm still learning him and his body. So even though the Carvonin method is 220 minus your age, his heart rate, because he's been a lifelong fitness guy, running since your 20s, 30s, and staying active and doing other things, I know that his fitness is higher than that, which means I just pay attention what makes sense for him right now. And again, we talked about it in our last video, breathing, bringing that heart rate back down. Now, technology should be used to help guide you. On the days you think you did well, oh, well, I think I did really well for walking today. Oh, well, I just had a longer period, but I was under. Great, that's information. We're just looking for boring consistency day after day. 8,000 today, and I did 14,000 on Monday because we went to look at the beautiful red flowers that are endangered down in the south, and we hiked all day. And then the next day you get 7 because then you're sitting in a meeting. It's not about following the tracker. It's about, are you living an active lifestyle, and are you supporting that with rest, stress management, and good sleep?
Yeah, good sleep, that's important, and the quality of sleep. The quality of sleep, one of the most important things, as we're talking about technology, the people say, do not, right before sleep, get your eyes off a screen. Your eyes have to be off a screen, that's the saccade effect. Your eyes have to be off a screen at least 2 hours. So one thing, what I do before sleep is a cup of tea and a page of Gemara. There's nothing better, because nothing could be further away from a screen than the page of Talmud. Do something, read a novel, read a book, speak with your spouse, do something, but stay off a screen. And for some people, it's very difficult to stay off that cell phone, and they have to check their emails. If you check your email more than 4 or 5 times a day, and the social media, the social media, okay, the TikTok and the Facebook, there's something even more, that just getting off of social media, weaning oneself of social media, and it's an addiction. It's an addiction. Getting rid of that addiction is probably the best contribution you could make to your personal fitness, to your physical fitness, because it's so much insequential time. Stop and contemplate how much time you're in social media, how much time Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what a person needs to do, if you want to influence the world, then just send your message and leave. Hit and run. Send your message, leave. Don't leave with all types of people. Not everyone you should you wouldn't let anyone in your front door, but why are you letting them in their brain? You're letting them in their soul. Your soul is part of the brain, and letting all this stuff. So that's one thing, technology, you want to be careful. Use technology for your benefit, and don't let technology control you, whether it's a Fitbit, whether it's a fitness watch, or whether it's social media. That's really important.
There's a great application or program you can download that actually blocks your Gmail from coming in except for certain times throughout the day. I just installed it and it's amazing. Because before, I'm waiting for emails to come back. So I would look in between clients or when I have a coffee break. And then at night, so my son still sleeps with us. He's 2. And what that means is that when I get in bed, I used to read a Kindle before bed. So I have your books, I have a couple others, I have stuff that I want to proofread that I download and put in. And what happens is it really is an addiction. Is you get to a certain point and you're like, oh, I'm just going to check this. And once you open the phone, especially, that's why the scroll was such a revolutionary thing. I remember when you used to click on a web page and then click next and it would wait, and then you get to a point you're like, oh, it's midnight, I'm just going to close. So me doing this is because I go through cycles. We're not perfect. But when I do harness technology and not have it harnessing me, the sleep quality is better. Now here's the thing. I've been into sleep trackers for about 2 decades. I've been looking for one. And the honest truth is that aside from going into a sleep lab and having them really hook you up, nothing is going to be accurate. I bought this Jawbone Connect many years ago that was supposed to wake you up by vibrating gently at exactly the time when you were between sleep cycles, and it didn't work. It woke me up plus or minus 5 minutes when I set the alarm, regardless of where I was. There's a lot of other things that we like to think are helping us, but here's the best thing to know if you had a good night's sleep. Over the course of the week, are you dreaming most nights? Can you wake up and remember having at least one dream? Hopefully it's a good dream, we don't know. Number 2, are you waking up most mornings feeling refreshed, or are you waking up going, whoa, I cannot wait to get the coffee machine? Number 3 is how quickly are you able to fall asleep? And that ties into regular bedtime, including no screens, and having a cold, dark room with a couple plants in it. So I'm trying to think of the name of it. There's a certain plant that you can have that's a wonderful scent. Lavender, is a great one for the bedroom.
Lavender, that's an aromatherapy. Lavender is very good.
And you don't need to water it very much. I've killed 3 of them because I overwatered. Peace lilies, if you don't have cats or kids, is fantastic. And the greenery in your room really helps. So these are some things you can do. You don't need technology. What you do need technology is like what we talked about here. So during the warm-up, we still have it running right now, and he's at 111 beats per minute. And you can see he's still moving. So he's keeping his heart rate up, but it's come back down significantly over where he was at the beginning, where he's peaking in the 180s. That's where technology can be good, is I'm working too hard or I'm not working hard enough. And again, you have to be tapped in.
Why are we rocking back and forth? It's to stay warm.
Right, and it keeps everything moving. Right. And the thing is that as we go through and we progress, the human body is incredibly complex, and technology is still trying to catch up to what we already know. And yet, when you rely on technology to tell you how you feel, that's when we get the stress hormones to go up because we're not keeping up with the program, and it's really ruling us. So harness technology, don't let it harness you.
Right, okay, and then the greatest way to harness your power is to ask the source of all power to help you be strong.
Gratitude, guys. The universe, Lord, whatever you want to call it, if you take the time in your training to be grateful that you're there and thankful that you can do what you can do, even on the worst days, because your worst is better than somebody else. And I've learned that, again, going through my injury process and building back up. That's the best technology you can have, is digging into your brain and understanding. And that's, I think, the final frontier for sports performance is psychology. And we're just now actually starting to recognize and not go, oh, you're talking about psychology. I can't talk about that. Tell me about your heart rate.
Amuna, if there's a cure to something that hurts, a person has that part of the body that hurts, okay, the one part of the body, there's 613 parts of the body. Okay, so that knee hurts. But thank you, Hashem, for the 612 parts of my body that don't hurt. You know what's called? I call it the clogged pore syndrome. A woman looks in the mirror and, that Russia's attacked the Ukraine. What's the matter? She's got a clogged pore. Young lady, do you know how many pores you have in your body? 99 million pores? So you've got 98,999,999 unclogged pores. It's the one clogged pore. So when did the last time you said thank you for all the unclogged pores? We say thank you, and all of a sudden you see that the clogged pore becomes unclogged. That's a spiritual dynamic, and it really works. When you're gratitude, the Almighty gives us a lot of more reasons to be gratitude. And when a person doesn't have gratitude, oh, you don't like it? You think it's a bad deal? Here.
Yeah, I've done that with my own. When I broke my ankle in the accident, I was very grateful. I saw it as an opportunity for things. But then when I had my knee surgery and was told that I have the arthritis of a 68-year-old in my knee at less than 40, that did not go as well. So when you practice that as an athlete, this really is the difference between those who bounce back from adversity. Like we have a cyclist, Egan Bernal, I don't know him personally, but he's bouncing back very quickly. And looking at his posts, he's a very grateful person. He's grateful he had the fitness he had before. Chris Froome is another one. People don't know, but the greatest cyclist of his generation had to learn how to walk again. And people are giving him flack for not being fast on the bike. The gratitude that he has to be able to ride again, that's what these great athletes who bounce back are given. And that's what I was taught by my physical therapist at 13 when I tore up my ankle, is be grateful that you can be here and work. And the injury is a blessing if you want it to be, or it can be the bane of your existence in the end.
The champion bounce back guy was King Solomon. King Solomon in Proverbs said that a pious person is knocked down 7 times and gets back up. You know what that means? It doesn't mean that if you do all types of religious, quote, religious stuff, you're pious. It means pious if you get knocked down 7 times and you get back up. That's the secret.
Yep, and the same people took that and talk about a cowboy is someone who gets knocked off a horse 7 times, gets on 8. Same thing.
That's it.
Guys, technology is there to help you. There's going to be adversities around technologies and different things. Same with the technology of your brain. That's the most advanced computer you can have. Step by step, we're building you. Technology is there to aid you. I know we kind of went off and it's a little bit of a longer video here, but what you guys can understand is it's so interrelated. It has nothing to do with us coming to it with a certain perspective. It's a matter of technology, the human being, the human psyche. It's all connected. The technology is trying to read the human being and the physiology and the human psyche and give you an input to help you become better. But too much we're focusing on it and letting it pull us back, as opposed and seeing the bad, as opposed to these are the things I did well, or here's the one thing I should focus on today.
Here's the bottom line. The technology is to serve us. It's to give us more quality in life. Do you feel better or you don't feel better? If you feel better, by all means, the technology is a great thing. If it helps you feel better, help you feel happier and less pain. If it brings you down, I'm not good enough, I'm not here. There's enough things that want to bring you down. You don't need a Fitbit to bring you down. Get it out. The important thing is your quality in life.
Yep, and it's going to be day by day. So every day, wake up, be grateful you can go out and do what you do. If you're like me, you're starting from zero again, enjoy the journey on the way back. You're going to have crappy days, you're going to have amazing days, but every day, show up and do the boring work and be happy that you're able to do what you can on that day.
God bless.
See you guys.